Yo, what is going on, guys? Sinister Skater here, and welcome to First Try Fridays episode number 3 for Call of Duty World War II. Now today there was an awesome playlist update for World War II, but this is First Try Fridays, so we're going to be going over all of that update stuff in a bit. If you guys just want to know the update details, you can skip to the time on the screen down below, but I suggest that you guys should watch the whole video. But First Try Fridays, for those of you that don't know, this is a series I do every single Friday where you guys leave a World War II class down below in the comments. You can be as creative or basic with this class as you want. You can pick my guns, my attachments, basic training, score streaks, game mode, controller settings, give me a challenge to do, knife only, do 360s, whatever, pick my gun camos, give me a commentary topic. You guys can pretty much do whatever, package it down below in a comment. I go in and pick one of the comments at random and use it in my very first game of World War II for the day. Then we upload and commentate to that gameplay no matter what. I can go 20-0, 0-20. You guys see some raw, uncut gameplay. It's a pretty fun series to do. So this week, the class was suggested by the one and only Andy is Average, wanting me to use his marksman themed class. This consists of the M1A1 Carbine. I am using the Bite the Dust 2 heroic variant for you. We have high caliber, quick draw. I do not have extended mags unlocked on the M1A1. This is like the one assault rifle. I guess I missed on actually maxing out, so I'm sorry about that. So instead of extended mags, I'm using grip, and then we're using the new pistol, the 9mm SAP, the Privilege 2 heroic variant with extended mags. And then we have the infantry division, the lookout basic training, a stun grenade, and the score streaks are UAV, flat guns, and paratroopers. He says this class is consistent enough for him that he always gets paratroopers with it. And I was kind of like, M1A1, I'm not really a fan of this weapon, but surprisingly, I went 21-8 playing some kill confirmed on Point du Hoc, and I actually got my paratroopers at one point in this gameplay and did fairly well with this. So that may be due to the buff the M1 received today, or maybe not. Maybe it has been a low-key pretty good weapon all along. Who knows? But just a quick note on the gameplay. We lost by 2 points in kill confirmed, and it may have been all my fault. We need to press those Fs. I kind of choked and thought I killed the guy, and I stopped shooting when I could have easily killed him. I think if I killed him faster, I would have been able to pick up his tag and the tag that was right next to it and win the game. But the game ended before I could do that. So you guys can wait and see and judge that for yourself. But that's pretty much it for the gameplay. I do want to talk about this update. As always, if you guys' class didn't get picked, be sure to leave it down below in the comments for next week's episode, because I do pick from the latest episode. And pretty soon we're going to be doing some live stream episodes in the near future. If not next week, it will be 2 weeks from now when I get back from spring break, so those will be pretty fun to do. Also, Andy, as for your story topic, we do have to get into this update. I'll give you an IOU, kind of, if you want to suggest it again or make me do a video on it or something, but I will tell you a quick, short, embarrassing story that you wanted to hear. This happened about a month or two ago. I was walking back from class. I was taking a dump before I came back, and I had toilet paper hanging out from the back of my pants, and I walked good 1, 2, 3, like 7 blocks on campus and through downtown with toilet paper hanging out the back of my pants under my backpack. Didn't realize until I was about a block away from my house, and that was super duper really embarrassing, and I always check before I leave the bathroom now to make sure that doesn't happen again. We'll end it with that. So let's talk about this World War II update that came today. This was a big weapon tuning balance, which is pretty cool, pretty exciting. So this update went live earlier today, Friday, February 23rd, and they actually announced the patch notes yesterday, which is kind of crazy. But this update included the highly demanded ADS and sprint in and sprint out time changes, which is awesome. These changes were made to further define the play styles between each of the classes, the ARs, SMGs, and the LMGs, which was very much needed. The SMGs overall got a buff. Its aim down sights time were reduced, and then the sprint in and sprint out of ADS times were both reduced overall. So now you can finally be aggressive with SMGs and, rush in on people. You don't have to like die while you're trying to transition to shoot, which is, I've noticed that when I was trying to be aggressive with SMGs after I got my headshots. I'm glad they finally fixed that. I can't wait to try SMGs out later tonight. ARs got their aim down sight times reduced, but they did not touch the sprint out times, and they did this to maintain a difference between SMGs and ARs, which is understandable, so they got a buff overall pretty much. The LMGs overall got a buff. Aim down sights times were reduced for the LMGs overall, and the Kar 98K and M1903 sniper rifles had its aim down sights times increased to slightly nerf quickscoping. I believe the ADS time is now 400 milliseconds, and they were sitting at about 300 milliseconds before. Now they're the slowest aiming down sights sniper rifles. So big changes there, which is awesome, but the next stuff is what really interests me, which is the actual weapon tuning. We have 7 weapons that got big changes today. First one being the MP40, which overall had a buff. They reduced its recoil, which is awesome because personally I felt it became harder to use at range after the last wave of tuning for the MP40. I'm looking forward to try this out. Reduced recoil should definitely help this weapon out and make it way more competitive, even though it's more competitive after the last update. FG42 assault rifle overall got nerfed. They decreased the fire rate, so it's doing less DPS overall. And what's interesting is the Gewehr 43 got a huge buff where they actually increased the fire rate to 444 rounds per minute, which is the same as what the FG42 is now. So you can shoot the Gewehr and the FG42 at the same fire rate, in one auto and one semi-auto, which is very interesting. The Gewehr also got its recoil reduced, and they increased the clip size from 12, which used to be at 10 rounds per clip, which again, just big buff for the Gewehr. Speaking of semi-auto weapons, the M1A1, which we're using in today's gameplay, had its fire rate cap increase. You can shoot it even faster now, which honestly in the gameplay I didn't really notice. I haven't used the M1A1 in forever now, but I thought you could shoot it fast enough before. But hey, I mean, if you got the trigger finger, now you can kill people even faster. Another semi-auto assault rifle, the SVT-40, got what I would call a net buff. Its recoil got reduced, which thank Jesus, man, the recoil on that weapon is what made it really hard to use and one of the worst weapons in the game. So hopefully it's more competitive now. But in contrast to that, they increased the hip spread to make it harder to hip fire and fight in close quarter situations. So the SVT is more so a mid-range to long-range assault rifle compared to, say, like the M1A1 or the Gewehr. Two other weapon changes we have here. The M30 Luftwaffe drilling got an overall buff, a big buff, lots of changes going on here. They increased the damage per pellet and also increased the range damage profiles so that the damage from the M30 is identical to the sawed-off after its recent buff in the last update. And the M30 now has a way more consistent two-shot kill. It's going to be like 99.9% of the time you're going to be getting two shots and way more one-shot kills than before. Because after the sawed-off got buffed, the M30 pretty much decreased to the bottom of the shotgun ladder. And then finally, they reduced the aim down sight spread so that your pellets have a greater chance of hitting your enemy, which means you can do more damage, which means you'll kill people a lot easier. And then finally, we have another shotgun here. The toggle action got slightly, I'd say slightly nerfed overall. They increased the clip size from 8, it used to be 6, but they also increased the aim down sight spread instead of reducing it like the M30. So it no longer has a tighter aim down sight spread compared to the other shotties. It's about the same as the other shotguns now, which will make the toggle action a little less reliable. Honestly, when I'm using it, and probably a majority of people using it, they're probably just hip firing it because it's like a spammy semi-auto shotgun. So we'll see if that really changes the effectability of the toggle action. And that wraps up the patch notes from today. So really interesting weapon changes. Some of them getting huge buffs, some of them getting nerfed, or should say FG42 getting nerfed. And finally they addressed the sprint times, which is really, really interesting. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to that. Next thing they have to do is fix some of the health regeneration, in my opinion, and we'll be sitting pretty happy with World War II. Except they need to remove prop hunt, but that's a discussion for another video. I hate that game mode. But yeah, before we end this video, reminder: the triple double is live in World War II multiplayer this weekend until February, until Monday, February, what is that, 26th or something like that? 3 days from now, and that is double weapon XP, double XP, and double division XP. So now is a great time to play during the final days of the Resistance event. Again, if you guys didn't leave a class comment down below for next week's First Try Fridays, make sure you do so. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. That'll wrap up this video. Let's roll that outro. Alright, that'll be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to demonstrate that by tapping that thumbs up button and or dropping a comment down below. And if you really liked what you saw today, consider subscribing if you are not already, and turn on notifications for this channel by hitting the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my uploads. My social media and more is linked in the description. And with that, my name is Sinister Skater. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.